Many people think of confidence as a feeling, but in reality, it's a set of behaviors that you can change and improve over time. In contrast, self-esteem is your overall sense of self-worth. It's usually developed during childhood, and it takes years to change. Self-esteem is built from the inside out. But luckily, research shows that confidence can be built from the outside in. And that's really important to know, particularly for students and for recent graduates who are just starting out in their careers. On campus, you're typically surrounded by your peers who have similar levels of experience. The workplace, however, is a very different environment, and that transition from campus to career can be intimidating. Suddenly, you're part of a team with a hierarchy of both experience and responsibility, and you'll likely be the most junior member. In meetings, you can't wait to be called on. You're going to be expected to contribute, to share your perspective on topics you may not know much about, and there's not going to be a lot of time to prepare. The most important first step is to figure out what you want to say. We call that having a point of view. Now, a point of view is more than just an opinion. It's an informed perspective that takes what you know and relates it to the agenda at hand. A point of view doesn't have to be a brilliant analysis that took you years to develop. In fact, it doesn't even have to be a statement. Asking a thoughtful question can move a conversation forward. And you should use your status as someone new to an organization to your advantage. After all, you have a fresh perspective to contribute. Let's talk about presence. Peggy Klaus is an author and an executive coach, and she said presence was the best part of your personality combined with the best part of your expertise. And I love that definition because too often we hold cliched notions of who embodies presence. And inevitably, those images are of tall men in dark suits. And if, like me, you don't have height on your side, how do we demonstrate presence? Well, the most important thing is to pay attention to both the verbal and the non-verbal signals that you're sending. And again, this is not about how you feel, it's about how you act. Poise, good posture, looking people directly in the eye, enhance presence. The biggest verbal mistakes that women make are talking too quietly or too quickly or discounting what we say. We usually think communication is about what we say, but ultimately it's about what other people hear. Instead of waiting to feel confident, it's helpful to experiment with behaviors that help you act confident. Talking openly with women you trust is a great way to share strategies for building confidence. To start us off, I want to ask, do you see any gender differences in how men and women display confidence?
Definitely. I think women want to have all the answers first before they proceed. They want to feel like they're ready first. Where I think men know that they will be ready at some point and they go for it either way.
Men, I feel like they don't care necessarily what other people think. I mean, as females, like we definitely want ourselves portrayed in the best light, whereas guys, not that they don't want to be seen in the best light, but they're more willing to take a risk.
Do you think that men are really so confident, or are they just acting confidently?
They act. It's all an act. It's all an act.
So what do we do to act confident?
I would say just get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep.
Just accept the fact that you don't know everything and just go with it.
My level of confidence actually went up when I accepted the fact that it's okay to not have an answer.
I think it takes a large amount of confidence to literally say to someone, I don't know.
One of the best things that I do to help me boost confidence when I'm with someone that I just got thrown in a situation with, I just remind myself that they're human. Mm-hmm. They've been in our shoes before. They have had to work their way up. You look at them as a human instead of necessarily your boss.
And I always feel like I have more confidence when someone's given me positive reinforcement. And I've almost gotten to a point where, and it almost sounds egotistical, but I'll seek it out, you know, like fish for the positive reinforcement. So that I can walk in and feel like I'm ready.
Absolutely.
You have to have that confidence even if you don't have it. You just have to tell yourself, okay, this is what I want and I'm going after it. And don't quit until you get it.
Great advice.
If I'm getting ready, whether or not it's for a meeting or if I'm going out for a personal outing, out with my friends, if I'm prepared, I take the time to do my hair and get my outfit right. I walk taller. I feel more confident, and you can tell it by my strut.
That stuff matters, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever been in a meeting where you never said a word?
I was asked to attend a meeting at one of our clients with the CFO, and I thought my role was to go there and sit and take notes. After the meeting, I actually received the feedback that you didn't speak up, you didn't run the meeting.
And so have you done anything differently since that meeting?
I go to every meeting, I speak at every meeting.
I was in a situation actually in a meeting when someone that was senior was asking for an answer. And I had an answer in mind, but I was not confident enough to voice it. But this guy said the exact same answer. He was not 100% sure, but he answered it.
You kind of get scared and you're like, someone's gonna think this is stupid, or I could be completely off with this.
Right.
But you should, because you never know that someone else is gonna think the same thing and then they're gonna get all the credit for it.
But let's say you know one sentence that you can contribute. Find that time where you can get that sentence in and that you can feel like you've contributed, so you're confident, and then the others see you in a more credible light too.
Have you ever had situations where you used sort of disclaimers? Do you ever hear women say, well, this might not be a good idea, but...
Yeah, definitely. Usually the disclaimer is, this isn't completely ready yet, but we can go over it.
Yeah, or I have a quick question. I know I'm so guilty of that one. It's just you don't want to feel stupid.
I read an article that females tend to say particular words a lot more than men, and I think just was one of the words. I just wanted to ask you, I just wanted to clarify. If you take it out, I think it's completely fine.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Yeah.
So how do you practice? What do you do so that you get your confidence in order?
I force myself to be in situations where I have to speak in public. For example, I get to participate in a lot of school events where I have to speak to a live audience. I put myself in those situations so I get to practice, even though I hate it.
Yeah, similar to that, anytime a manager or senior, someone is on a call and they're like, do you want to lead this right beforehand? I will take the opportunity even if I don't feel prepared, because that's the only way you're going to get good at it is by practicing it.
What advice do you give women for how they can appear more confident?
I think one of the things that I do before going into a meeting or anything that I don't have too much information about is to come up with 3 adjectives. And I tell myself that once I leave that room, I want to make these 3 impressions to the people.
That's such a good idea.
I would say get feedback from guys. The guys tell me, oh, you're gonna do great. And then they give me advice on how they go about doing things. They tell me, don't be afraid to speak your mind and don't say no to opportunities.
I think that you need to network and work with other people enough so that you can feel comfortable with them. And the more comfortable you feel, the more confident you're gonna feel.
What you say and how you say it impacts how others see you. That in turn impacts how you see yourself. PwC recently conducted a global study on millennials. Only half the women we surveyed thought that they could rise to the most senior levels within their companies. We want that number to be higher. Building confidence is a process. Confidence is a quality you develop as your career evolves and as you grow. Effective communicators practice all the time, and they use different techniques in different situations. Choosing the perfect word, finding that great example, all of that takes practice. The women in our Lean In circle said that they felt most prepared when they reached out to their network. So find a friend to practice with. Your generation has the unprecedented opportunity to change the way leadership looks across the world. And the first step is communicating with confidence.